This Grandmaster has just escaped from me. Well, it's not the first time Grandmasters escape from Dina, anyway. Alright, thank you so much and good luck for tomorrow. Alright, Dean. Thanks so much, that was a tough game, and see you soon. Indeed, Guðmundur Kjartansson is not the only Grandmaster that just occasionally ran away from Dina. Dingleran, the future world champion, maybe. What do you think about Nepa versus Ding match? Let me show you the game from the round 8 of Reykjavik Open 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to show you the game where I faced my third Grandmaster in Reykjavik in round 8, and that actually could have been my third scalp. Unfortunately, there was some accident, if we could say so, that happened. You'll see. I'm playing white pieces. The game started with e4. c6. A very bad decision by my opponent. Why is it bad? It's basically bad because my opponent goes for the opening that I play myself. I hope you know that already by now. Dina plays Caro-Kann. d4, d5 with black. And now Dina is with white. e5, bishop f5. I decided to go for this line where I have some, you know, preparation, and it's a very rare line. It's actually very dubious. So many title players laugh at me when they see that, but you know what I usually tell them? Try it yourself with black against me, and we'll see what happens. Bishop d3. Yes, many laugh at this move because, in fact, I'm kind of changing my most potential aggressive piece, and the bishop on f5 in Caro-Kann is usually used as a meat, either by pawns or knight that would chase it. So here I offer exchange of the bishop, and it's like many people say that white loses all its advantage after bishop d3. The most common is obviously queen takes d3, and that's the move that I had many times in my games. But this time I'm taking with a pawn. C takes d3. Oh, and yeah, I forgot to mention, I'm back to my studio. You can see that. My good friend Fabi over here, chilling. This is the soccer cup that I won for in the Olympiad, Chess Olympiad, and welcome to my streaming studio. Don't forget to subscribe. So c takes d3 is the move that I do. Here the correct response is e6, knight f3, knight e7. So far we are following my game, the game that I had like 2 weeks ago in Charlotte, United States, where I played my first ever Norm event. Short castle, knight f5, knight c3, h5. In that game, I did not expect h5. My preparation was either bishop e7 or bishop e7. So on h5, I played this h4, and then we had a long fight, and that was the only game that I won in the tournament. Funny, isn't it? My opponent decided to go for a game in a tournament that I played like the worst of all tournaments, and he chose the only game where I won. Yeah, I found it funny during the game. So my prep here this time on h5 was knight e2, and this was the moment where my opponent started to think, and that was the moment where I knew that he was out of the book, because, you know, he expected the thing that I didn't play, so bad for him. Knight d7, bishop d2. What I expected here was bishop e7, then I would have played b4, and after bishop takes b4, I don't know if I should show it to this, you know, leaking my prep, okay, who cares, and then rook b1, and if bishop goes back, then I take the pawn. And here I was afraid of doing the same thing, even though it would have worked, because if I attack the bishop and then bishop goes back, I was afraid that the knight comes to b6 and my rook is trapped. But that is not true. Here, in fact, there is simple, like, do whatever, and then if anytime queen attacks the rook, then just rook takes e7 and king takes e7. Yes, we sacrifice an exchange, but it's gonna be a tremendous attack here by white on all the dark squares. Anyway, that is lyrics. Bishop d2, a5 happened in the game. Very nice. So yeah, I played bishop d2 instead of b4 because I wanted to prepare b4, but here my opponent was very smart, responded with a5. Knight e1, a very typical maneuver, because I actually, this time, unlike in my previous game, I don't want to push pawns. And if he pushes h5 and g5, then I'll probably break through with f4. Queen b6. I found queen b6 dubious in the game because, okay, this is a place for pawns, not for pieces, not like for a queen. And I felt that queen b6 was awkward because my pawn would push eventually. Knight c2. Here, black responds with immediate c5. Again, seemed very dubious to me. I chose the best line, bishop c3. That's why computer gives it exclamation mark. g6. Another dubious move by black. We don't understand why bishop is needed here when he can actually go out on the c5, and that's what was expected. The strongest would have been, according to the engine here, d takes c5. And after, let's say, knight takes c5, knight d4, and white is better. I kind of saw that, but I thought I didn't have to rush. To me, rook c1, the move that I did in the game, made so much more sense. And even if black decides to go bishop h6, which, by the way, happened in the game, I wouldn't be scared. Either I would go to rook b1 and then prepare b4, or I would do something that I did in the game. Because in the game, I was like, okay, rook b1, but Dina, hold on, let's think. What if we go bishop d2? And bishop d2 seemed like such a perfect move because I offer a trade, an exchange of like piece that covers the most weaknesses of black. So it must be good for me. You know, like when you tell to kids when they open two sides, it's weakening the position. So this is what it has been happening here. Bishop d2, bishop takes d2, queen takes d2. I was totally shocked to see the evaluation of the computer after c takes d4 and queen f4, protecting e5 and preparing knight d4. Actually, there is this totally insane line, like totally, it will make you quit chess. Queen c7, knight c takes d4, knight takes d4, brilliant move. And if rook takes c7, I have to show you. Boom, knight e2, and black wins on spot because of the fork, you know. I don't have to show it, but it's like this, the fork. So knight takes d4, white has to capture back with the knight, and after queen e5, this is so crazy shocking, honestly. Like, I gonna repeat it again. Honestly, crazy shocking. Because if queen takes e5, knight takes e5, and rook c7, I'm like, come on, my rook is on the 7th rank. You know how my Russian coach would call it? It's like the stomach paradise. Like literally, in Russian we call it обжорный ряд. Ладья на обжорном ряду. Okay, rook is on the stomach paradise place, like 7th and 2nd. I'm very bad with translations. It's like to the youth. To the youth. I saw your sneaky little comments with the youth to the end game. I know it's youth and not youth, okay? Thanks for your comments, by the way. And do leave more of those. I love them. I'm reading all of your comments, you know? So here, what is crazy is that after knight d3, black just says, I don't give a shit about your rook on the 7th rank because I got all the pawns and your rook can't do much. Yeah, this position would be better for black. I mean, luckily my opponent didn't go for it, probably because on a human level, this queen c7 and queen e5 doesn't seem logical. And instead, my opponent went for another queen crazy line of queen b2. And I'm like, gosh, you're out of your mind? Your king is in the center, suffering. What are you doing here with my pawns? And actually, black is right now, like, literally 2 pawns up, which is a lot. I was so tempted to take the pawn, but I cannot because I lose after g5. And luckily I found that. I mean, it didn't take me long, even with the other knight, there's g5. So the best move here is h4, short castle, and now I take the pawn. I was very, very hesitating about g4. But g4, just if we go h takes g4, h5 was my plan. Black plays rook c8 and says like, okay, darling, what's your threat? And even if it looks like white is attacking, actually they are not. So position is totally fine for black. Knight c takes d4 is the move that I played in the game. Rook c8 is a mistake. Instead, black should have first traded a couple of knights and then played rook a c8. What is the difference? The difference is that here, what happened in the game after rook c8 with a knight on e2, we have this really nice rook b1, which I spotted right away, and queen cannot capture on a2. Now, if we compare the same position, after knight takes d4, and now rook a c8, then rook b1, and queen a2 is actually possible because there is no queen trap. Like rook a1 is just queen b2, and the other rook to b1 is just queen c3. So if you compare these positions, like be very careful what's happening like in the game with a knight on e2, right? Queen takes a2, is a mistake. Rook a1, queen b2, and the other rook to b1. And Boda's gambit. The darling queen is head off, like vibes of Henry VIII. Rook b1, attacking the queen. Queen to a3, only move. And here, like right from the moment when I played rook b1, I knew the winning move. I knew it, I spotted it. Knight takes f5, e takes f5, only move. We do not want to destroy the king. And here, you gotta pause the video because the winning sequence is right here, okay? Hi, you sure you're a subscriber? I didn't see you clicking that button down below. It's right here. You're back from pausing, you found the move, correct. It's e6. Brilliant move. I'm so frustrated right now and so pissed off. Literally. Why did not I play this move? The reason is because I couldn't calculate till the end. I was like, okay, cool, knight c5, but how do I continue attacking? E takes f7, rook takes f7. Okay, I can attack this g6. Okay, fine, the king is weak. And what? When do I gain my pawn back? And I got undecisive. I got afraid of this concrete line, even though sometimes, again, as my Russian coach would tell me, when you sacrifice, you do not have to calculate till the end. You just gotta go with your intuition. It's more than enough when you have the attack. Damn, that intuition. I guess something like queen h6, and then rook f6, then knight f5, and we attack everything, and it's like, bro, literally, I mean, it's not worth analyzing. It wasn't that clear to me. I made some more analysis with the engine, like if we go queen g5, rook f6, or something like this, and e6, knight c5, e takes f7, rook takes f7, now queen g5, rook c6, let's say knight f4. By the way, knight f4 attacks both g6 and h5 because of the pin. Then king h7, rook e1. Here's like insane. Come on, rook e1. Are you serious? Queen c3, trying to bring the queen back, and just rook e8. And I mean, come on, queen f6, rook. I don't want to even show you this. This is too much and too deep. And most precisely, it's not that clear. I mean, you cannot calculate till the end. But the moral of the story, I didn't have to calculate till the end. I had to play the most natural e6 and give away the pawn and continue the attack and say, your queen is exactly in the toilet. You called it. You know it. Your queen is in the toilet. I'm attacking. What else do I want? Oh, I also didn't show you like if capture, then just queen g5, and it's really like super easy here because how many pawns does black have? 2 pawns, right? Rook f6, but I mean rook f6, but come on, just rook takes b7 and that's over. Yes, it's just such a natural breakthrough e6, such a pattern. So instead, I went for this super strategical and nice solution that I saw. It's also probably the reason why I didn't play e6, just because I saw this other move, which was also looking good to me, and that was d4. The reason I liked it is because I protect my strong central pawn, and I also take control of the c5. So I basically restrain the knight, but I completely forgot. And here my opponent was in time trouble, by the way. He had like 5 minutes. I had actually 20. Rook e8. Offering this knight transfer. Rook takes b7, knight f8, rook fb1. I didn't know what to do. I needed to put my rooks good. There's so many details here that I'm not showing, but okay. Rook c2, very strong and very aggressive. I didn't expect my opponent to play so aggressive here, but actually now things are gonna get so complicated. You're gonna love it. Knight g3, knight e6, queen h6. The game goes with f4, and here, believe it or not, but almost the only way for white to survive is to sacrifice the rook. Boom! Rook takes f7. And you'll be surprised to hear that it's actually a draw here. It's like equal. My opponent goes with rook c1. You won't ask, but Dina, what happens after king f7? And I'll tell you, it's even crazier. Rook b7. Rook c7 only move. Rook takes c7, knight takes c7. And are you ready? Knight h5. completely crazy lines. And after g takes h5, queen f6, and you will be surprised, but queen g6, queen f6 is a perpetual. Rook c1 check, king h2. Don't ask me why. Okay, actually, I'll tell you why. Because after f takes g3, f takes g3, did you spot it? Exactly. The queen is attacking the rook. And now after king f7, we got this rook takes c1. And white is back to having advantage. Knight g7, rook f1, king g8, queen takes g6, rook f8, rook b1. So far, I'm doing correct moves. Queen e7, rook b5. That's the mistake. Apparently here, to continue having the advantage for white, I should have played rook b6 with the idea of transferring the rook to the king, if needed. After queen f7, I should definitely not trade queens and go for something like queen h6 with the idea of transferring the rook and then probably taking on h5. It's exactly what should have happened. Let's say you go here and then like, okay, rook f5, but yeah, okay, maybe it's not that clear. I honestly, it's hard because it's approaching the endgame, and I mean, what happened in the endgame you will see. Rook b5, attacking both pawns, queen f7, queen takes f7, rook takes f7. I decided to go for the endgame because I was like, I'm okay with the draw. When I was playing this, we were both in a time trouble, so I was okay with the draw. Rook takes d5, rook f2, rook takes a5. You might think, oh my gosh, he got a piece, but guys, honestly, 5 pawns for a piece. Knight f5. Here, I was afraid of getting checkmated. Knight h6, knight g4, and then rook comes. I was afraid of getting checkmated. So I was like, I should stop it and do the best move. e6, knight takes d4, very precise. Probably somewhere here, if I wanted to continue fight for advantage, should have played g4. But I got afraid of this, although it doesn't help. No, actually, I didn't consider g4. I was in time trouble. I don't know what I honestly don't know what I considered. I was like, I should go for the safest line. And the safest line is to get rid of his last pawn, and then we'll see. But the reason is I wanted to do it is because, you know, rook and knight cannot win against the rook. Well, the problem is that after rook takes a2, I am gonna lose the e pawn. Then I only have 3 pawns against the knight, which would have been enough to win had it been normal pawns. But here, because of, I mean, I trying a7, king f7, rook h7, king e8, the pawn's gonna fall, g4, knight c6, h5, knight takes e7, and that's the thing. And the reason, I'm gonna finish my sentence, I promise, these pawns are not winning against the knight is because I have double pawns. Double pawns are not enough. Had this pawn been on f2, guys, it would have been completely winning. But yeah, okay, I'll just show you how the game went. King h3, king f8, rook h6, king g7, rook d6, rook a4, g3, rook c4. It's insane game. You don't want to see all that. I'll just quickly scroll you. No. Oh yeah, and here I blundered. What I blundered that there is rook c6. And if I go rook a7, then there's just check and I lose the pawn. And if I take, well, it's just like in the game. I'm going to show you for content what I did here. g4, and you're going to find the most beautiful stalemate ever seen. Boom. Knight g6. Okay, fine. I lied. That didn't happen in the game. I literally spent 5 minutes here thinking, do I agree for a draw or do I play for content? And I was like, I'm gonna go for fight. G6. Boom. I want to win. But knight takes g6. And yeah. It's sad. It's very sad. I was very frustrated. But now that I do this recap, it makes me even more frustrated because I get all the memories. Big lesson here. Go for patterns. When you see patterns, don't hesitate. Let me show you one more detail, which is actually curious and interesting. I saw you being curious about endgames in the comments. So see here, h6, king h7, there's a very beautiful draw after rook a7, trying to capture the knight. And black has 2 options, either protecting the knight, rook e4, or saying, I don't need a knight to make a draw, king h6. And believe it or not, even if you know like Philidor and stuff like that, 2 pawns are not enough to win when they are G pawns. It's the same for H pawns, and it's the same for B pawns, and it's the same for A pawns. The reason these pawns are not enough is because, actually, you tell me why this position is drawish. And if there is no answer in the comments down below, then I'm gonna have to make a video about it. Do you want to learn endgames with Dina? That was a rhetorical question. Fine, guys. Before I tell you to get out of here, I want to make a conclusion. Had I played e6 following my instincts on the move 22, the move that I wanted to play, and I got undecisive and afraid of some completely illogical things, had I listened to my instincts, to my general patterns, understanding, this would have been my 3rd Grandmaster scalp in a row. But as far as for today, Grandmaster ran away from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. I still have 3 more games from the tournament that I could potentially show you, you know, if you want to. And I trust you on finding your way out of this video. Goodbye.